Hi everyone, and welcome to another live stream on the Platformers community. Today with me we have Shaked Braimok Yosef. Welcome.
Thank you.
Shaked is the founder of Sonora, and today she will teach us how to do something really cool using Slackbot. So on our live streams, we talk a lot about different implementations of platform engineering, but we've never had something quite like this. So I think it's pretty cool and unique. And Shaked will actually teach us step by step how to create our SRE companion and basically implement the platform engineering principles through a Slackbot. So Shaked, can you please introduce yourself, tell everyone what you do, what's your mission in life, and what is Sonora? And then we can get started with the presentation and demo.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Udi. And my name is Shaked. I'm a platform engineering consultant, and I am the founder of Sonora, a company that provides infrastructure solutions for platform culture, including templates, building blocks, courses, and so on. And today I'm going to show you how to turn Slack into a powerful self-service tool with SmartBot.
Cool. So before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We'll leave time to address those at the end. And stay tuned because after the short presentation, we will see a live demo of Shaked actually building this Slack bot. So should I bring up the deck?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
So can you see my screen now?
Yep, that was the quickest tab shift I've ever seen in my life.
Amazing. Okay, so I want to start with the questions. And let's be honest, okay? How many times have you seen developers asking the same questions over and over? And I'll give you some example. For example, how do I run this? Can I change the infrastructure? Can I get permissions? Why is not working? And so on. And what happens next? We get a Slack message, a Jira ticket, and developers need to wait to DevOps response. Meanwhile, the work is stuck. And now imagine all of this could be solved instantly. No waitings, no interruptions, no dependency on DevOps, just a simple solution in your Slack. And I already introduced myself, so let's talk about the problem. And I'm guessing the problem is already clear to you, right? Too much reliance on DevOps teams with lots of tickets and Slack messages, causing overload for DevOps and long wait times for developers, which hurts everyone's productivity. Oh, yeah, I have a funny GIF here as well. And the solution is very simple, Slackbot. The bot enables developers to perform actions independently through a familiar and user-friendly interface they are already used daily. And with the right integrations, we can make Slack a control center for everyone in the organization. And here is the infrastructure that we are going to create today. We will create a Slack app. We will deploy our code on AWS. We will enable developers to trigger automated actions through the Slack command, which called /command. And the best part is that all incredibly easy with an open source tool that I just published, and we will see it as well. And you can start using it right away. So this extendable infrastructure lets teams to create self-service actions in minutes, and you will see it. And I want to mention this framework, which I used. The source code of the bot is based on this Slack bot, a framework that simplifies the Slack app development. Actually, it provides easy to use interface for handling messages, responses, interactions, and so on. So we will use this library to capture user commands, and we will trigger the relevant processes. And I want to back to the infrastructure, by the way, just to show you the resources that we will use. We will use API gateway that will trigger the Lambda function, which actually used as bot. Okay, we will receive all the events from Slack into this Lambda, and the Lambda will trigger automatically the specific action, which will run on AWS code build. At the end, the code build will execute the notifier, which is just Lambda function that run API request and update the users with the process result. And that's it. Let's jump into the demo. So we start with creating the application in the Slack API console. We need to create an app from scratch. You need to set the name and so on. Actually, I created already the application, Sonora. So, great. I thought we have some error. Okay. So you can see.
It won't be nothing very last minute.
Yeah. Okay. So we have here all the settings for our application, and I want to focus on 3 parts. Okay. The first one is the permissions. Here you can add permissions to your bot. For example, I want to enable my bot to send chat messages. Here you can see a lot of permissions that I added because I'm still in progress, and I guess I will remove, for example, this one and the group right and so on. But here is the place for you to add permissions that you want that the bot will be able to do. And the second thing is the slash command. Slash command is a command that the user will execute from Slack and will interact with our bot. Okay, so for example, we have here the command Sonora. And when someone from my organization will execute Sonora, it will send the payload to this URL. Okay. If we will take a look on the infrastructure, by the way, so the URL that we need to set inside is the API gateway URL.
Shakat, sorry to interrupt you. We have Emmanuel from the audience asking to enlarge the screen a bit. If you can zoom in, I don't think you can increase the font, but yeah, this is much better.
That's okay.
It looks much better for me, and I hope it works for Emmanuel as well.
Okay, great. Sorry for that. And additional thing is the interactivity. My blueprint that I will show you in a minute will create this infrastructure and will send back the user not only messages, it will send modal. Okay, it will send some box dialog, a form with fields, checkboxes, and so on. So we need that the bot will get our interactivity event as well. So we need here the API gateway URL as well. So after you create this app and set the logo, colors, and so on, you can start with the deployment of the infrastructure. And all you need to do with this blueprint is just clone it, okay, and execute one command, which is make all. The make all will build with Sam our CloudFormation stack and deploy it. Sorry, we have this here. Okay, so the stack name is this, and the region is this. And we need now to choose some bot name. I will call it Sonora. These are questions of CloudFormation, right? After the CloudFormation stack will be up and running, it will start to apply the Terraform. So let's take a look on the code. And we have here 2 folders. One of them is the bot and one of them is the runners. Then the runners are the backend of the actions that we want the developers to run by themselves. The bot is divided into 2 parts. One of them is the bot that receives the events, right? And one of them is the notifier, which sends messages back. Inside the bot, you can find here a folder named actions. The actions will be created as code build projects with Terraform, let's take a look on the Terraform code. So we have here a list of all the folders inside the actions path. The actions path of our blueprint is this, but you can change it and choose where you want to locate your actions. And an action is a folder with build spec file, which is actually the backend of the code build, just shell commands inside the YAML. And we have inside the modal JSON as well. Let's open the actions. Okay, so we have here an action named example. You can see here the build spec, which are the commands that we run inside the code build, and the modal JSON, which is the front end. This list are blocks that we can design here with Slack. Slack provides us the block heat builder. You can just paste here the blocks and see the fields that we are going to get in our modal. Okay, so let's back to the deployment. We can see that the deployment is done successfully. And if I will send some message to Sonora now, it will not work because we're missing two things. And you can find it, by the way, in the README. If we're going to the deployment instructions, so we can see here that we need to run make all, and after that we need to set the URL, as I said, in the interactivity and the / command, and we need to fill some secret that will be used by the bot and by the notifier. So let's start with taking our API gateway URL. We're going to the bot, click on the API gateway, and then we can see here the API endpoint. So all you need to do is just to copy it, edit the command, and just paste it here. Okay. I must minimize it, sorry. Okay.
Oh.
That's it. And the interactivity as well. Some spaces here. That's it. Great. So the second step that we have, we need to open the secret manager. And this secret has been created by the CloudFormation template. Our SAM deployed this resource blank. We want to add it manually and not expose it inside our template. So Udi, if you can remove my screen.
Yeah, we don't want any secrets spilling out.
Great.
Live on YouTube.
That's it. You can. Let's back to our Lambda. You know what? Now we finished with the steps, so let's back our bot, our Slack, and run /Sonora. You can do it in any channel you want, by the way. So now we send /Sonora, and we get the menu. It will be automatically, right? We didn't add something in the code. This is the blueprint. Now you have here some example, and you click next, blah, 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 and submit it. We got some message here, a lot of messages because I did some tests, but the last message was this. And I added it in the bot to understand when we get the event into the bot. If we will back to the infrastructure, by the way, we can understand that we got an event here, and now the code build should be run. So let's open the code build. By the way, code build, the service, is built to use for CI processes, but I love this service for any automation process or task. So it finished successfully. I just added here some echo commands, but at the end I called the notifier lambda. So now we should get a new message. The process is done. Okay, so it finished, and Now let's add some new action just to show you how simple it is. So we're going to the actions folder. Let's copy the example, the existing one, and call it example 2. The build spec will be kept, and now I want that the block ID will contain as prefix my folder name. Okay, but I don't want the same modal. Let's be creativity. Oops, no, my bad. We need to copy it inside the blocks. Let's open it. Okay, so I need to take only this list and replace with that. Let's add something here. I want to add some checkbox, for example. So we are going to the input, add some checkboxes, and let's call it environment.
Shaked, can you zoom in again, please? Now it's Ilana. You can't see well.
Okay. Oh, it will be hard. So I just will copy it and then I will resize again. Okay. Okay. So the example 2 model, this one. Okay. And let's redeploy it. Let's run make all. By the way, it's a blueprint, right? So you can improve anything inside. You can add some, I don't know, request ID to the bot and even change the make file. It's just for you to get started very easy. Now we need to get an additional project, right? So let's see. Great. So the stack has been updated, and now the Terraform will be applied. And that's it. We have here an additional project. Great. So let's see if we can run it through the bot. So we call Sonora. And now we should get inside our main menu the additional action. Let's click on example 2. Blah, blah, again. Development and submit. So I just added here the checkboxes for the fun, right? But you can edit the build spec. For example, you can add some commands to create secrets, to execute DevOps scripts. And more than that, you can build some Docker image and set it as the image of the code build. And for example, you can add all the repositories and scripts of the DevOps, build it inside an image, and deploy it as a code build project. Then the only action that you need to add to the build spec is just the path to the script. Now the example 2 should run and has been finished successfully. And let's back to the Slack. We can see that the last message was the process is done. You can see here all the story history. And that's it. I think it was very, very fast. So feel free to ask questions if you have. We love questions. And you can scan, by the way, this barcode to get every week new content about platform engineering. That's it. What do you think, Udi?
I think it looks amazing. It's so simple, so cool. So I have, firstly, if anyone has any questions, please ask them. I see that a couple of people, Ilana and Ben, said they couldn't see the screen share, which is weird because
Oh,
most people did see that. But Ben, Ilana, if you missed anything and you have questions, please ask them. The recording will be available on YouTube as well, and you should be able to see all of Shaked's presentation and demo there. I have a few questions,
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
if no one else does. So, firstly, how, from your experience working with your customers, is this really working? Are people actually using it in production? Are they really using? Is it really helpful? Do you have any metrics that customers share, like the number of tickets that they receive or the quality of tickets they receive? Anything like that you can share?
Yeah. So I must say it depends on the organization. Okay, some of the organizations prefer to use this bot for rollbacks of versions, for updates of infrastructures. But I want to give you an example about Milio, which is Milio does not using, by the way, this infrastructure. They are using some serverless infrastructure, but I built something similar, and all these tickets, all the support tickets that we made daily as on call, now are automated in Slack. So when developer, for example, wants to create some secret or even AWS account, they can do it using the Slack. It's not depends on us. So yeah, I can see it affect on many organizations, and it's amazing.
It sure does look amazing, almost too good to be true. But we've seen it live, so
And you can
it
try
must
it
be
right
real.
away. You can clone and try.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll share the link to the repo in the comments and in the description. We have a question from Ilana.
Great.
Can we control which actions each role make? For example, team A can only do part of the task.
Yeah. So as I said, this blueprint, it's just a blueprint, and some of the organizations wanted to create a service that running beside the bot and really manage some profiles, some user permissions, and so on. But it's very advanced. I think that if you want to make something bigger with profiles, permissions, and manage some groups and so on, I think this is not the solution. You need to use some portal, for example. I can say that port enable some self-service hub with permissions. You can restrict there who can run something. You can do it in Slack as well, but you need to build it by yourself. So it's different.
Let's see if we have any other questions. In the meantime, I'm curious about the choice to use Lambdas. Is it just because you're an AWS fan, or was there another reason, or
First of all, I'm
whether it can
AWS
be?
fan, yeah, and I love Lambdas. I think it's very simple. Not for all the solutions, right? Sometimes I prefer ECS or EKS, but I think for bots that only receive some events and need to push it somewhere, I think Lambda is great solution.
So it's not just like your general preference,
No.
but for this use case, you see that Lambdas are better than
Yeah.
other microservices. All
And
right.
by
So we
the
have
way,
another question.
okay,
Yes.
go for it. No,
No,
never.
no. I want to know now.
You can build the runners that I chose code build. You can do it in Lambdas as well. But for this scenario, I prefer to use code build because of the observability we have there. And for example, if you want in the future to make some developers to enable them to be involved in the development and debugging and so on, I think code build is a great tool for that. That's it.
Noted. So another question from Ilana. How can we track what was done? Can we add auditing to see what was approved or run?
Yeah. So as I said before, it's a blueprint, and if you want to add some user ID or a ticket ID or request ID beside every execution, you need to develop it. You need to, for example, you can use the payload, by the way, of Slack. They provide thread TS, which is unique, and you can attach it to the logs, and then connect it to some monitor tool like Datadog, and then filter by the ID or by the user ID. And so, yeah, you can do it, but you need to build it. It's not built in the blueprint.
All right, I hope that answers Ilana's question. What else can you tell us about use cases, or what are the limits of this? Let's ask it this way. Is it scale? Is it use cases that can break it? What's the limitation here?
I think the limits here, and I'll say it different. Wait. I think that if your organization prefer to get something ready with a support team behind, and something that we can in large scale, I can say it. And so I'm not sure this is the solution. This solution is great for support tickets and ops things. And if you want to make a bigger solution for a corporate, I think that it's better to use some portal or a dedicated tool for the self-service. But bots are great. You can do it for corporates as well, but you need to split it for specific subjects, topics. In my point of view, right? From my experience.
And how would you address any security concerns? We've mentioned enterprises. Integrating this type of Slack bot will probably make some CISOs cringe.
So actually, I worked with security teams, and there is no issue with that. We have some verification functions inside the bot. Here you can see one verification function, but you can add yourself some policies. When you get some event, you need to check it, of course. So by the way, in the blueprint, you can find a function as well for verification that checks that the user that sent you the message, they sent the bot the message, is from our workspace.
All right. And now I asked you about the limitations. I want to ask you now, like the opposite of that. What's the vision? What's the dream? Like, how far can you take this, and what would be like your ideal evolution of this of the Slack bot, like 2 years from now, or 3 years from now,
Wow,
if at all? Maybe it will be something completely different by then. Yeah.
I can tell you that one of our customers wants to take it to the next level with AI, and we're still thinking about it and trying to plan something. But I think the vision is very, very big. I can say something additional thing about Emilio, that built great infrastructure for that. It's not a simple bot. They have a lot of functions behind, a lot of services that we built together. And yeah, I think by the way, I told about the answer of about the question of Ilana that it's not good for corporates. So I want to fix it. I want to correct my things. You can do it in corporates, but you need to develop very, very hard. You need to work hard to make it, good in the security and good in performance and so on.
Compliance, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we have time, do you mind showing the actions again for Ilana and everyone else who might have missed it?
So let's
just a quick glance, and then we'll wrap this up. And like I said, you can always watch the recording on YouTube.
And you can clone it.
You can clone it.
I want to see clones. Okay,
You
so
can follow.
you can see my screen, right? Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. What do you want to see in the actions? Just let me know. Do you want to see the backend?
Ilana, let us know.
I guess you wanted the backend. Let's see.
Okay, no response, but we did see some actions.
You can
So
talk with me after this presentation.
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't know,
Feel
Shaked,
free, everyone. Feel free to
yeah,
contact me if you have some questions. If you want to improve something, go for it.
yeah, helping DevOps engineers do better is literally Shaked's job. So feel free to reach out. And before we wrap this up, do you want to share some contact details, how people can reach you, learn more about Sonora, see more of your talks and guides and sessions?
Yeah, sure. Here in the chat.
Yeah, or out loud, just speak your mind. Oh, and yeah, please do share the links as well for everyone.
Okay. So
So the easiest one is sonora.dev, right? It's where
yeah,
people
this is
can
one.
find.
And I can't comment. I don't know why. So I will send you privately, and you will
Yeah.
do it.
So
So
here,
dev and the GitHub repo for those of you who want to try it. So you can follow them.
awesome. So we starting with Shaked's LinkedIn, and then we will share the GitHub repo with this blueprint, and finally the sonora.dev website. Yeah, so hopefully everyone got those links. If not, feel free to reach out to us at the Platformers or directly to Shaked. And thank you so much for joining us. This was
Thank you.
super short, sweet, and practical. Usually our live streams are more winding and it's more back and forth, but this one was like really just the juicy parts, what's important to know and how to do it yourself. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. And I hope to host you once again at the Platformers live streams.
Great. Thank you, Udi. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you for your questions. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye.